Yo, let's go. All right. We're going to try to make this simple. Not too hard. We're going to make this simple. It's going to be simpler than the Young Thug case that Fannie Willis had. So, yo, bro, the black female is not for you. The black female is not yours. You're not part of our community. Let's start off by just saying that. They're not ours. They're not part of our community. They're just not. And by the time you finish this video, you're going to understand, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because if you use your common sense, you listen to what I'm saying, and you apply it, you'll understand that black women aren't part of our community. We don't even have a community. Let's start there and work our way up. There's not even a black community. It's all gone, and it's not coming back. You will have a mulatto community long before you have another black community. Let's talk about it. So, we're going to start off at 1807. The year is 1807. Slave owners decided that, okay, we're going to stop bringing over black men because they're causing too many problems, revolts, blah, blah, blah. Great. 1808, they're going to stop the chattel slavery. That means they're going to stop bringing men over. They said, no more of that. We're going to continue slavery, but we're going to go and stop that, bringing men over. Because these men are like, we don't want to do this. We know who we are. Like a man who knows who he is, and you put him somewhere and tell him to do something, especially men in the 1800s are way different than men of today. All right. So 1807, we're going to stop bringing the men up. But 1808, they're like, hey, the industrialization of farming has really increased. Eli Whitney, who made the cotton gin, he made it so that now that they're farming cotton, they could do it in a much efficient way, which means they need more land, which means they need more what? People. How you going to fix that problem? The way you're going to fix that problem is you're going to bring more women over. So they brought more women over to procreate, for lack of a better word, to procreate with the black slave men to make more slaves. So there's a guesstimates, and this all occurred, they call them breeding farms, look it up. They're called breeding farms on the East Coast, Virginia, North Carolina. They were breeding farms. And that's where they were breeding men. They were breeding slaves. So they went from 200,000 up to 2 million. Just breeding slaves. Breeding slaves. That's one of the reasons why as black men we're disconnected from our, we'll call it ancestral heritage, because we just don't know it. All we know is America. You could say the DNA, you got DNA, you know, he was born in Africa, but yeah, but that just says some part of Africa. Africa is huge. Africa is 3 United States. Three United States can fit inside the continent of Africa. So let's stop saying this Africa thing, like Africa is just like, you know, California. No, Africa is 3 United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. You group all that into a ball, you can fit that ball inside of the continent of Africa 3 times. That's huge. So now that we have all these slaves, slavery ended, and what did they do? Well, let's push them all together. So you know, all these black men slaves, all these black women that were slaves, and keep in mind, the black women slaves were treated bad, but it never is treated as bad or worse as the black men. So now you have this group together, and the black women, they had to bond or had to be with the black men for their safety, for their subsistence, for their just being there, because the white men ain't want them no more. They're like, hey, I don't want you. They had to do something. So what did they do? They just stuck with the black man. Now, I know that sounds a certain type of way, and people think you don't like black women and da-da-da, and that's, that, and the other. The facts are the facts. So let's not go with this whole back and forth with this whole angry thing about I don't like black women. Just, could we talk about the facts and where we are today? We got to build up to it. So the black women were with the black men, but the black men were building kingdoms. You can't have a kingdom inside another man's kingdom. So the white man came through and destroyed their kingdoms. We'll just stick with the one y'all all know, which is Tulsa. There were many more Tulsas, but white men weren't having all that. Burned them down, ran roads through them, red line, whatever they had to do to get rid of them, they got rid of them. All right, let's keep moving forward. So now we got the Jim Crows going on. Things are starting to loosen up a little bit, but Jim Crow's going on. So they're still killing and lynching and doing things to black men. Black women are working, but they're not autonomous enough. Okay? So they still had that bond. They had those strong bond with the black man because out of necessity. Let me be very clear. They were bonded out of necessity. And I want to show you later on and real quick how that necessity changed and they got the hell on. Jim Crow era, you start getting the feminism, start trickling in, you start getting welfare. You start getting welfare, you start getting more government assistance. And what happened is black women took in the government assistance and pushed out the black man. At the same time, poor white women pushed away the government assistance and kept their white men. There's something called the Monahan scissors where it demonstrates that. You can look all this stuff up. I don't got to make this stuff up. It's documented. That's why I know it well. It's well documented. So you had the feminism thing going on. You got the welfare thing going on. You got the rights. You got the women are voting now because before, white men like women are cattle and this, that, and the other. But they start giving women more rights, women more this, women more that. And the nail in the coffin was the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Boop, 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 boop. Nail in the coffin. Because now black women are what? Double minorities. So being a double minority means if I hire a double minority, I get double the money the government gives me for hiring a woman over a man. What did that do? That started putting black women in particular over top of their men more now than ever in the history of this country. Because we just went through the history, right? We see that they had to bond with the black man because they needed them. Now it's like, we don't need y'all. We really don't need y'all. We were with y'all because we had to be, but now we don't have to be. We got the hell on. But other nationalities weren't doing the same thing, particularly the whites. At that point, it wasn't a big deal about immigration at that point. It was a deal, but not as big deal as it is now. So now you have these women who are double minorities getting all these jobs that men would typically get, and now the men are looking like, things are not looking well for us. And we're like, where the black women at? It's like the power and all these other things and blah, blah, blah. And the black women are still like, they're showing us their ass to kiss. We make money now. We don't need y'all. There's a video of women talking to these teenage women with kids back in, I think, the 60s. This interviewer was saying, don't you want to have a relationship with your man who has the father of the child? I don't need him and this, that, and the other. It's the fucking 60s. 60 goddamn years ago. Civil Rights Act, 1964, 60 plus that is 2024. It's been 60 years. 60 years. So let's not go with this whole, no, we love our black man and this, that, and the other. So let me address that. Let me address the whole, no, not me, not all. I love my black men and this, that, and the other. And black men are the kings and da-da-da, and da-da, and da-da. I don't know who you're talking to, but the way we love black, that's all great. You're a small percentage of it. Small percentage. Because if it's so true, look at the marriage rates between black men and black women. You can see, we have stats for that. So you can talk all you want to. I don't know what people you've been talking to. Look at the stats. Look at the divorce stats. Look at the women who are getting divorced in their 40s and 50s now. They call them gray divorces. We have stats. All you gotta do is look them up. You don't want to agree with them. That cognitive dissonance clicks in. Cognitive dissonance. Remember, I'm a mental health advocate. Cognitive dissonance is when you refuse to believe something. Your brain is refusing to believe something. And that's why you have all these people in line that keep on saying, this is what the numbers say, this is what the numbers say. And the women are like, we don't care, it's not true. What? How is it not true? So, they're not yours. Those black women are not yours. Now, that's the history in a nutshell. Of course, there were a lot of things that went on in between that, but it's like a 10, 11-minute video. It's like a 9-minute video so far. There's a lot of things that went on between that. But the main part of it was when we were all pushed together after slavery, women, the black women were like, we have to be with these men to stay alive in this country because we have nothing. But as times change, benefits change, government assistance and change, feminism and all this psychological warfare changed. All these things were changing, and that's where we are today. They're not your women. You found one who is, and who's cool, who's ready to follow the traditional, what they call tradcon, the traditional conservative woman, great. More often than not, if you live in the city, that's not going to happen. Women have too many options. That's also one of the reasons why women stayed within that group they were in with those men they were with, because their options were limited. You only knew people in that little small town you was in Tulsa, right? That little small town you was in Birmingham, and these little small, that's all you knew. You have the internet now. You have access to everybody, and they also have access to you. Stars and whatever, dropping in your DMs, talking about what's up, let me fly you out, and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more access now. Things have changed so much, so now they're really showing their true colors. And when women truly showed their true colors was when we'll call it internet sensation, Kevin Samuels. That's when women really started showing their true colors, because now, instead of us black men saying this is what we're seeing from our black women, and people always telling us that's not true, y'all just need to step up, and y'all need to do this, and y'all need to do that, and the women to act right, and blah, blah, blah. But now those same women are now calling the show, and they're thinking, holy shit, this is really going on. What y'all saying is really going on. 6 feet, 6-pack, and these fat women and kids want these guys, and this, that, and the other, and they're just like, oh, whoa, okay, all right, we're good now. And then when the overseas women started seeing that, oh, shit, and everything just started clicking, because they were never ours to begin with. That's why it was so easy to throw us under the bus, because they were never ours to begin with. That's why it was so easy to throw us under the bus. They were never ours to begin with. That's why it was so easy to throw us under the bus. And in some cases, our mothers threw us under the bus. Ooh, can't talk about mom. Lord forbid you talk about mom. A black man talking about a mom, that's blasphemy. You're better off talking about God than you are talking about your mother. As a black man, that's blasphemy. I digress. They're not ours. So you can't rebuild something with the broken pieces. So we talk about rebuild the black community, black community, black community. You can hotep yourself to death with this pro-black shit. Good luck with that. You can't build a community with broken pieces. It's crap. You can't. They don't want it. They don't want it. They say they want it out of one side of their mouth, when they speak outside their neck, and they say something different. Yeah, I'll do 50-50. No, they don't want 50-50. They want the 100. Your money, my money, and all this other. That's what they want. They just want to run the streets. They were never ours. Never ours. We were pushed together, and out of necessity, they were with black men. Once they got a chance to get the hell on, they got the hell on. And this is where we are right now. Now, there's going to be the few that say, no, that's not true. Okay, cool, great. That's 10% of y'all? Maybe 5 at this point? But how many, even out of y'all who love black men, how many kids and mental problems do y'all have? And do the man want to deal with that? We want to do a Boyce Watkins that finally got with his high school sweetheart at 40, 50 or whatever, with 3 kids later. Now they're like, oh, we're not high school sweetheart. Who wants that? We want the younger version. If she's 40, we want the 22-year-old of her. I say all that to say, you can't put this community back together. Good luck putting this community back together, and all the mental health and all the other shit that's going on, and all the black men who lie and say, no, we can do this, and they're always defending black women and all their fuckery and this, that, and the other. And then a really big thing that just really set most men off is when Kevin Samuels passed away, and you've seen all those videos of those women celebrating, particularly black women. It was a wrap after that. There's really nothing. After that, it's a wrap. Because it wasn't like he was just totally just going off the chain and saying things. He was just saying the things that black men have been saying forever, and he put it all together and packaged it up nicely and presented it to the internet, and people were like, oh, no, that's not right. That's not who he think he is, and the constant attack. And no matter what black men say, we get attacked because why? You don't like black women. You're attacking us. You're bashing us. You're always these keywords that they use to make sure you shut the hell up. You wouldn't have to do none of that if your black woman was with you. Now, there are good black relationships? Of course there are. That's just stupid to say no. You're not getting the ones that grandma had, your dad had. You get married today, it's a roll of the dice. And she don't wake up tomorrow and be like, I don't want to be married no more. Come on now, you see it too often. Look at Tyrese Gibson. He just gone through it. He just keeps going through it. Man, that dude Ooh. Marriage now is a fucking waste. It's a waste. It's a waste. Especially if you're a man of means or a man of ambition or a man who just wants peace. It's a waste. So, I hope you made it to the end of this video. You understand that these women are not your women. They was with black men out of necessity. And then once that necessity went away, they went away. And it's just that simple. Don't make it more difficult than what it is. Don't make it more difficult than what it is. You see all this in front of you, and don't be in denial and be like, well, I'm still going to try. There's always hope. Good luck with that. Wow.